Good day, and we have returned yet again with more F.E.A.R 2 Reborn. A familiar voice is guiding you to the epicenter of the Auburn explosion. The replica army you were once a part of now considers you a threat and is determined to kill you. And the point man, probably. But yeah, it's like, you're part of the replica army, but I just like... Do they really... is it really an army, though? I mean, it's like, they don't really have... Oh, it's all, oh, crap! I did not remember that happening. Well, that escalated quickly. Yeah, I did not expect that to happen. I thought the car was just gonna, disappear, but I guess it didn't. But yeah, it's like the replica army really an army. Do they have, like, regulations? Do they have, like, any sort of, like... Well, I love how that wall is just made of, like, fucking... some kind of super concrete. Hey, it's fucking, not Return to Castle. Wolfenstein New Order. You can just tank a fucking car. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, looks like it might be pretty good. I'm just surprised, and pleasantly, I might add, very happy that Wolfenstein still gets... Oh, that did not end well. See, this never really goes anywhere. The whole crazy writings on the walls. It's like that... We know it's Alma, but we know that Alma isn't like, like fucking Cthulhu or anything. It's just, it's like, what's with the weird writing or anything? It doesn't really mean anything. I think there might have been some ideas for that, but they just never really went anywhere. Oh yeah, we got the weird mutant people. That's another thing that didn't really work all that well, is like the mutants that you fight. They do explain where they come from, but they still just seem kind of out of place in this particular game. But oh well. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. Crush Horminions. And like now you got like Paxton Fettel not liking Alma for some reason. I don't know. This is one of those it's supposed to be fun games. It doesn't really explain too much. It explains it, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense most of the time. I think it's supposed to be sort of like I said earlier. It's like ooh, we blew him up good. It's supposed to be sort of an anime kind of thing. It's just shut up and have fun, which I can get behind. I mean, that's Doom in a nutshell. Although Doom tries to go out of its way, or Doom 2016 at the very least tries to go out of its way to make a good degree of sense, and it does. Doom 2016. I can't wait for Doom Tutu. Doom guy in a tutu. No, that would be weird. Although that does remind me of a con I went to where there was a guy in a Darth Vader mask and a tutu. Yes, it was quite hilarious. I think there's a picture of that guy up on the Facebook page. It was from a number of years ago, but it was still quite amusing to see. I haven't been to a con in... I've not been to a con in a long time, actually. I need to go to another one at some point, just really haven't had the time. And I had heard that the... oh yeah, this guy. Ugh. This is one of the more annoying enemies, because like, he takes a lot of punishment. And he's not really that... He's not really a challenge, but at the same time, he's more annoying. It's like, I'd rather him be a big guy or something. And once again, these enemies still don't make that much sense, though. Just because, well, who's creating them? Is that Alma? How would she know how to create something like that? And then, I don't know. I think they should have just kind of stuck with the replicas and been done. Stuck with the replicas and the mercs. Once again, even the merc army doesn't make that much sense. Wow, he just fucking fucked me up. Okay. But I like to tear apart these games and like take the piss out of them, but I still think it's cool. That's the thing. You can take the piss out of something and still think it's cool because it still is. It is a cool concept, and it's nice to have some different enemies. That's something I didn't appreciate back when I first played it. It's like, oh, it's just the same old thing, but this is different. They're at least trying. I was much more critical. Not that long ago. I was much more critical. I think unrealistically critical, because at least this has some unique ideas to it, whereas so many Modern Warfare shooters don't have it. Although thankfully now shooters have finally returned to a imaginative mindset. Because once again, just look at Wolfenstein New Colossus, look at Wolfenstein New Order. I just can't believe Wolfenstein has survived so long. It's crazy, really. They're blind to those whom they serve. It's Skynet! I mean, Almanet. Almanet, oh dear. Now, one film I watched not too long ago, and I may have mentioned this in another Let's Play, I can't remember. Too many Let's Plays. I did watch T5, and I enjoyed it immensely. I know it's probably got some... well, there's no probably about it. I'm sure it got hate, because people hated T5 as well, for some reason, and I have no idea why they hated T5. T5 was an enjoyable movie all around. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some logic flaws, but so what? It's a nice little robot war sci-fi movie. And a lot of stuff in Terminator can be justified in that it's an alternate timeline, it's an alternate universe, something like that. You just kind of got to let it go and just enjoy the robot fights. And there were a few problems with T4, but T5 I really, really enjoyed. They brought back Schwarzenegger, he was at the top of his game. The story's actually pretty good. I knew, and this is spoiled in the trailer, but I knew the new John Connor was going to be the villain from like the get-go. Because he looks like a villain, you know. You wouldn't want to buy a used car from him, essentially. But still, his actor was really good. You know, having, you know, Skynet take him over was a really cool concept. It was a good movie. It was good. See, T3 was complete shit, but T4 was good and T5 was good. Sure, it's not as good as T2 because nothing can be as good as T2. Really, T1 is by far the best movie in the whole franchise. But, you know, it was quite enjoyable. I've actually rewatched it already because it's just that good. There's another film I saw was, of course, Independence Day Resurgence. I really enjoyed Resurgence a great deal. I enjoyed Independence Day back in the 90s. I know that it's a popular thing to say, oh, Independence Day sucks, but no, it's just a basic alien invasion movie. I mean, it doesn't do anything wrong. And Independence Day Resurgence doesn't really do anything wrong either. I mean, I liked seeing, you know, oh, I can't remember. My brain is not working with names today for some reason. The guy who played, almost had it. Oh, what is that idiot's name? That's the problem. I just can't pick names out anymore for whatever reason. The first thing that goes is the memory, you know. Oh, come on, what? The guy who fucking played Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park, that guy. Almost had it again. But he was back. The guy who played that character's dad was back. It was cool. It was fun. It was a nice, fun sci-fi movie, and I enjoyed it. Once again, I'm not looking for super art when it comes to this. When it comes to these films, you know, it just does it do what it sets out to do, and if it does, good. I've still not watched Star Wars, but I will eventually, and I still have not seen Alien Covenant. Please stop asking. Please stop asking. God damn it! I haven't seen it. I don't have an opinion on it. It's probably. If it's just generic, I'd be happy, but it probably won't be. This is the problem with Alien anything now, is that it's got such big shoes to fill, and I doubt it will be able to fill them anytime soon. So, I don't know. We will just have to see. I would have preferred Alien 5. Speaking of Neil blah blah blah, I can't remember what his last name is. Bellcamp, something like that. He actually directed a film that I saw recently as well, Chappie. Chappie is basically a combination of RoboCop and Short Circuit, although I like it more than Short Circuit. I was never that big of a fan of Short Circuit back in the day. I mean, I saw it on TV a couple times, but it never really was that. Never really thought Johnny Five was that cool. I found him more annoying, but you know, he still wasn't horrible. But that being said, Chappie I like a lot more than Johnny Five. And when I say RoboCop, Chappie is the title character. He's a robot who ends up getting sapience, and he was formerly a police robot, so there's sort of the RoboCop kind of thing. It's almost time for Half-Life 3. This is truly an alternate timeline. You must press on. You have no allies. You are a neckbeard. Let's see here. I guess we just jump down here. But yeah, Chappie was quite enjoyable all around. I don't think I've seen District 9. I saw another one of Neil Bella, whatever the fuck his name is, movies before, but I can't remember which one it was. Now, there's one movie I would like to review at some point, though, and that's Battle Los Angeles. I liked that movie. Like, it made for a very entertaining alien invasion film, just because it was fairly realistic. Although I don't remember if they had as much artillery as you would expect the modern U.S. military to have. But overall, I was a big fan, and still am a big fan, of Battle Los Angeles. It'd be nice if there was a sequel. That way we could see if humanity defeated the aliens. There's already a number of books that do the same thing that that movie did. Most notably Invasion, that actually was more realistic than not. Even if they had fucking Houston wiped out. Now, what is with that in alien invasion movies? They always gotta wipe out Houston. You know, like, that's what happened in Independence Day. They wiped out fucking Houston in that. They nuked it. Fucking nuked it! You know, the president was a Democrat. I mean, never mind. Although, in the novelization, he actually is a Democrat, but he's supposed to be based along the lines of Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton, say what you will about him, he at least was remotely competent. More so than what we get most of the time these days. Although, once again, for the current administration, he's only been president for a little while, the jury's still out on it. And keep in mind, what he does will always piss somebody off, just because there's people that want to hate him to begin with. I mean, he could... Well, let's just not get into that, shall we? It just gets very annoying. Every bloody day you see somebody else saying something idiotic. Oh crap, fucking rockets. But hey, you know what? At least Antifa doesn't have battle mechs. Yet. I'm watching you, Facebook guy. You never know, he might have a battle mech. Already, you know, Elon Musk and his rockets, he could have like a battle mech already. You never know. Well, I find that both hilarious and... Oh yeah, the Tesla guy. I don't know who the Tesla guy is. I haven't really followed most of these new Silicon Valley industrialists. I bet they have battle mechs. We need to clone dinosaurs to fight the battle mechs. Speaking of which, the new Moon Nazis movie that's supposed to be coming out, I don't know if that's this year or next year, which is a sequel to Iron Sky, has Hitler on a T-Rex. Okay, it looks like it might be halfway decent. We'll just have to see. The only problem with that movie is that with Iron Sky is it was in development for so long that by the time it got released, all that humor was out of date. You know, like the Sarah Palin president and all the rest. It didn't really work. Just because Sarah Palin is such old news. And even then, once again, I think a lot of that was just really overwrought. That's the big problem with the media today. Everything is just so over the top. And not the good kind of over the top. It's like, Donald Trump walks across the street. Donald Trump is crossing the lane into impeachment. It's like, really? Come on! That's the thing. Nobody's going to pay attention to you if literally everything to you is the so-called smoking gun. It's like, seriously, report some news that's actually halfway intelligent for once. It's the old the boy who cried wolf. It's like, instead of a wolf, it's a 2-inch tall terrier that couldn't hurt anything even if it tried, you know? It's just... But that's the problem when you want to get ratings. Alright, let us see. I love how in every game you got a 50 caliber sniper. Holy crap! Well, that was cool. In every game you got like a fucking Barrett. God damn it. Fucking splash damage. I was hoping I'd be safe there, but that would not be... Ah, shit. And I got shot in the back. You know, I blame Trump for that. It's his fault. But one movie I wonder if they're going to do is a remake of Speed. Because when I was out in Oklahoma, that came on TV whilst I was in the hotel room. And it was like, Speed. That is a... Well, I say it's a classic. It is a classic little action movie that does what it sets out to... Shit. It does what it sets out to do, and it does it well. And I just wonder, though, why there hasn't been one, because that made, like, a shitload of money back in the 90s. Keanu Reeves is not that bad of an actor, in my personal opinion. Shit! I mean, he did more than just Neo. Actually, one movie that's also quite good that I recommend taking a look at is Constantine, or Constantine, whichever way you pronounce it. He did a good job in that, even if it's not necessarily comic book accurate. I mean, it's a movie from 2005. They weren't going to get that accurate. Really, comic book movies didn't get really faithful to the source material until Iron Man. Oh, Iron Man. You know what? I'm actually going to take a detour on that particular topic. Iron Man, 2005. The year... No, not 2005. The year was 2008. Superhero movies had been okay up till that point. but they felt like regular movies with superheroes attached. Iron Man, I think, got so popular because it was a new genre in and of itself. Iron Man did things very differently from other superhero movies, and people loved it. I remember people talking about Iron Man like all the bloody time. Even non-comic book fans loved Iron Man. And Iron Man was really, really good. Although I think the biggest problem with the later Marvel movies is the very... Oh, shit. I see you, you asshole. Sniper Elite, V3. V3! Boom. And BAP. I was gonna say BAP. You know, you work that bolt really slow despite having, you know, super speed here, dude. I mean, come on. That Mikulek guy can probably... No, there's no probably about it. That Mikulek guy's faster than you, and I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his name, but I don't care. Oh, crap, that's a big guy. That's a heavy. Give him 2 grenades. And the fucking hammerhead! Although I prefer the penetrator. That's what it was called in F.E.A.R 1, if I'm not mistaken. Although I could be mistaken. Oh, that hurt. That had to hurt. Oh, man, no, it's gonna crash the game. Yeah, their 3D model does freak out when you do that. But Iron Man was great just because a lot of that stuff was off the cuff, and it just felt very genuine. Iron Man 2 already didn't really feel that. It felt by the numbers already by Iron Man 2. And then Avengers wasn't bad, but it wasn't that amazing. The rest are just kind of generic in many respects. But check out Constantine. Very good. It's not what you'd consider a superhero movie by modern standards, but it's just a good movie in general. And so, I'm GeneralLotz, wishing you good Constantine, good Iron Man, or whatever makes you happy.